Welcome to Kumamoto Prefecture on the island of Kyushu. What you see here is actually one of the largest calderas in the world, formed by a massive eruption 90,000 years ago, after which the volcanoes you see at its center began to emerge. Everything inside this caldera is part of the Aso-Kuju National Park. I'm starting the exploration at the caldera's center, with the plan to hike around 20 kilometers through the cluster of active volcanoes. I gotta say, it can be tough as both a hiker and a creator because I often have to be pretty selective about the gear I bring along. And then I sometimes regret when I reach the top and wish I had my telephoto lens. Well, what you see me wearing around my legs today will help with that. This is the hypershell exoskeleton, which assists each step you take. Yeah, it basically makes you a cyborg. Now, I had mixed feelings about using something like this because when I embarked on this journey, a big factor was wanting to live the life I want to live and to be the best version of myself, creatively, mentally, and physically. So I was hesitant to use something that makes hiking, which tests me both physically and mentally, easier. However, I soon realized that this still helps me be better. It just also allows me to go further. Some photographers or filmmakers have the skills, reputation, and resources to get to truly remote locations by hiring a charter boat or a helicopter and assembling a whole team to achieve a vision. Maybe that'll be me one day, but for now, I only have me and my two legs to rely on. So I see the Ultra Shell as a tool that could potentially help me just get a bit further, or the same distance but without sacrificing any camera gear. So you can see over there the edge of the caldera. Like, this mountain is within a huge caldera, and then behind that are actually the mountains. I'm not sure if you can see because it's a bit hazy today. Alright, it's getting steep. It's time to turn on the hyper setting. It's actually crazy. It feels like my legs are moving on their own. Since it makes it easier, I'm also picking up the pace, so it's not like I'm not tired. And down we go. But before I head down, gotta get a snack in me. Oh god. My go-to snack on hikes. Always peanuts, protein for the work I put in, and healthy fats to keep me going. Basically, the hypershell has three modes. One is transparent, basically just a sleep mode, so it doesn't assist at all. The second is eco mode, which assists a little bit, but obviously saves battery. And the third is extreme, which obviously has the most power, but as I found out with the first battery, it drains it quite quickly. And each mode has 4 levels of strength, so I'm probably just going to keep it on eco level 2, so it can get me home with a bit of assistance, but not too much. Alright, so I messed up the route. I probably missed a turn at some point, or maybe the route was closed, and I'm ending up going the same way I came, which is fine. It's just adding extra distance, so probably gonna hit it back to the car now since I already filmed this route on the way up. Grab an extra battery and try to hit another peak or two. All right, back to the van. Got the hat on, which was a big mistake not bringing that for the first segment. And there's our next objective. One more to go. Let's go. Shizen no taisetsu ni shimashou. I agree. Last climb of the day, let's get it. Oh man, my legs are cooked. Let's check the Strava stats, live reaction. All right, clocking in at 21.5 kilometers, 1,500 meters elevation gain, and 7.5 hours. Pretty solid day. I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that without Hypershell, or maybe I could have if I shed like half the weight, because I packed my bag really as heavy as possible. So, all right, but the day is not over. We still got some sunlight, and the next few days aren't looking too good for weather. So I think I'm gonna try to find a sunset spot somewhere. Let's go. All right, so I came back to a spot that I drove past last night. It's too dark, so I didn't pull over and take any photos. Wait for the review to check this out. Oh, baby. A Totoro looking forest with like a shrine in it, rice fields with perfect amount of water to reflect, and sunset. Man, it does not get much better than this for a random find. The next day, I was beat. My legs weren't really tired thanks to the Hypershell, but I had just gotten a lot of sun and even burnt a little. So I took it easy driving through the park and saying hi to the famous aka-ushi, or red cows. They're one of the famous varieties of Japanese beef, known for their unique marbling due to their intramuscular distribution of fat, and even named the Emperor's breed because of the quality. Although I personally think their habitat with these incredible views plays a big factor. On my way around the caldera, I had to stop by Aso Shrine, which dates back to over 2,000 years at the onset of Shintoism. The most important deity enshrined here is said to have kicked down the wall of the caldera, allowing the lake that was held there to drain and therefore allowing people to settle the area. Kyushu is home to some of Shintoism's most important legends, so you absolutely have to stop by some of the locations associated with these legends if you're interested in the history. Although there is still much to see within the caldera, I had to get going north, so I made my way up onto the rim, and the view back down was nothing short of spectacular. I spent the night at this viewpoint, which is still crazy to me how I can have a bedroom overlooking some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. As always, all these spots are pinned on my Ultimate Van Life Japan map, available on Patreon, link in the description. So I've shown in past videos how I often refill my water from these spring water sources, which is actually quite common in Japan. And what's crazy about the spring water in the Aso caldera specifically is that it's been trapped underground for decades, which means that it picks up a lot of the mineral content of the substrate that it's been in contact with for all those years. So definitely keep your empty bottles when you're traveling around Aso. And what's cool about these spring sources is that there's often a sign explaining exactly what kind of minerals you're getting in this water and an explanation on it. And I love this line right here. It says, this is water that you can really feel the breath of the volcanoes and earth which it comes from. And of course, there's a little shrine here for the water god. Pray that I don't get E. coli, although the sign said that it was not detected, so should be safe. I spent the next few days in the Kuju Mountains in Oita Prefecture, a volcanic range which makes up the other part of Aso-Kuju National Park. Although I had lots of client work, which I planned on finishing while hiking the numerous trails here, the weather was really not cooperating, and I had only a few days remaining before I had to leave Kyushu.
Well, I slept horribly last night, as you could probably tell from that last clip. There was like typhoon level winds. I thought my van was gonna just like tear apart. And it sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. There's no escape. Like, unless I know beforehand that strong winds are gonna happen, then I can book somewhere like a cheap hotel to escape. But in this case, I had no idea. I'm in this open parking lot, there's no cover, and by that time it was too late to book anything. Plus, everything around here is pretty expensive because I'm in like an Onsen Town in the mountains. So it's just a painful night of the van getting rocked by the wind and battered by the rain. Like, there's just no sleeping. In some positive news though, you might see behind me that I actually have a proper mattress now. If you've been following me for a while, I believe it was in my Aomori and Akita video, I got a futon to go on top of my little foam mattress. Even that was not that comfortable, so I finally upgraded to a proper mattress. This thing is proper comfortable, although as you can see, it blocks pretty much the entire back window. It's quite heavy and takes up a lot of space, but hopefully it's worth it for the good sleeps.
I paid very close attention to the weather and took even the smallest windows where there was a short break in the clouds forecasted. Say goodbye to Aso-Kuju National Park, and this is right here in the mountain, looking the caldera at the distance. It's a pretty spectacular place. Whew. But man, it's been a lot of hard work over the past week or so here. So I'm gonna treat myself with a little ryokan stay, not inside the park, but just outside. So I better go get checked in here because it's getting kind of late.
Unfortunately, there's no breakfast served at this one. It's a really cheap little ryokan, so I brought my own. Plus, there's a little tea set here. Look at this. There's a cute note. It says Bednar-sama. And then like a little welcome note, which I can only read like half of it. And some manju, I believe. And some tea, which I will be indulging in. So I'll get the water boiling. Time for a quick soak in the private onsens before checkout.
This sign here says that these are steamers for use by local residents only. So I don't know what you'd steam there. Eggs, I guess, like onsen eggs or vegetables maybe. Anyway, pretty cool. And this says Takenoyu Jigoku, or the Great Hell of Takenoyu. Apparently the steam here is 99.1 degrees Celsius. It's pretty hot. Man, what an awesome find here in Kumamoto. I love stumbling across these little onsen towns. It just feels like you're stepping back in time. It reminds me of Onozawa, the little onsen town I found in Yamagata, and I showed it in that video. Except in this case, there were no Japanese tourists, let alone foreign tourists. So I was really the only one wandering through town. So amazing. Anyway, what a great way to wrap up the Kyushu part of my trip. It was a short trip this time. I was only here for about 3 weeks or so, and I do have a video I haven't released yet that came before this, but I had to get this one out first, so you can look forward to a second Kyushu video as well. But I need to head back to Tokyo to meet my dad, who will be visiting for a couple weeks, and it will take about 25 hours without taking any expressways, so I'm gonna try to spread it over 5 days or so. So anyway, lots of exciting stuff on the docket, and I'll catch you guys in the next adventure.